Okay, so welcome to CS-61. This is kind of an introductory segment to tell you what the course is about, how it's going to work, so that you can kind of get started on things before the class even starts, and so that you go into this knowing what it's all about. So, my name is Garrett Whalen. I'll be your host. This is CS-61 Discrete Structures, which was at Math 55, Discrete Math, because this is really a math class. Now, don't tell anyone, because technically if it's a math class, I can't teach it. But it is a math class. It is a math class that is only interested in the math that is useful to you as a computer scientist, right? That's where this comes from. And a lot of the local Cal States have been moving discrete math into discrete structures under the computer science department for many, many years. I think at my school, when I have a master's in computer science and a bachelor's in computer science, I think I took it under the math department, but I think even my old school has moved it under computer science to make sure that it's covering the things that you need to know as a computer scientist. So it really is kind of a hodgepodge. We hit a lot of different things. So we're going to work with Boolean Algebra, which is true and false, because true and false relates to 1 and 0, which relates to the way that computers actually work. We're going to work a little bit with finite state automata, which has to do with what can a computer calculate, right? What can't it calculate? We're going to work a little bit with graph theory, a whole lot of problems. A whole lot of the problems that you need to solve as a computer scientist are really graph theory problems, right? If you're doing a video game and you're trying to figure out what a character can see, right? That is, what do you need to draw? That's that line of sight, totally a graph theory problem, okay? We're going to look at induction and inductive proofs, because induction relates to recursion. For the brain part there. I'm doing this on YouTube really quick, so that's going to be in. Normally I would edit that out. So yeah, induction and how it relates to recursion, we're going to learn about. So we're just going to hit a probability. We're going to talk a lot about probability. We're hitting a lot of different things in this class, all of which is going to come up over and over and over again throughout your study of computer science and throughout your programming career. These things come up a lot. In addition, this is a flipped classroom. And what that means is the lectures are going to be online like this. Hopefully they'll be more to the point. And in class, what we're going to do is work on activities. And we're going to do that for a couple of reasons. One, the book I chose is really hard to read. And I chose this book because it's free. It's an open source book. So and I think that's an important thing, right? That we're kind of looking at the cost to you guys as the students. And I couldn't really find any reasonably priced books that were better written. The only book I found that was better written was like $400, and that was just insane. So, the other books that I've seen local universities using weren't really any easier to understand. They just had more stuff. So what we're going to do instead is I'm going to kind of go example by example through this book. It's a very dense book. And I'm just going to kind of break down the examples for you, and then you'll be able to refer back to the reading. And that works much better in a flipped classroom where you can kind of watch at your leisure than it does in a regular classroom. In addition, this is a math class, and lecture is the worst way to teach math, right? Math, really, you need to learn it by doing, by experiencing it. So that's going to be our focus. You're going to have, 1 to 3 hours of lectures to go through every week, and then all of the homework and programming and all of those assignments we're going to be done in class, probably mostly in groups. So that's the way we're going to run things. This video and every video you see is going to be embedded in a forum, right? And there's a very good reason for that. That is for you to ask questions. And you are required, or not you required, it's set up so that you're automatically going to be subscribed to the forum. So when anybody else asks a question, you're going to get an email alert. I'm subscribed to the forum, so if you ask a question, I get an email alert. That way, if you're watching these videos and you have questions, we can get not an immediate response, but a reasonably fast response to any questions, either from me or from other students. And these are all going to be graded forums. However, they're extra credit. So if you ask questions, you'll get some extra credit. If you answer other students' questions before I answer them, you'll also get extra credit. So it's, I want you guys to use these. These aren't like a discussion forum. You're not required to check in and see what other people are saying, but it's extra credit for you and helps you help out other students and yada, yada, yada. So yeah, that is CS-61. Every week you're going to be checking in on these lectures and participating in the forums. Also, each lecture is going to have a very short kind of just did you watch it quiz, 2 or 3 questions, just to make sure that you're keeping up with it. That is always due before class. So you need to be watching the material the week before we actually go over that material in class. But yeah, that's what we're looking at for discrete structures. If you have any questions, I'm very available by email. My email is gwhelan, W-H-E-L-A-N, @lbcc.edu. I also have office hours on both LAC and PCC campuses, and I'm just around a lot. So I'm sure we can catch up whenever it's convenient for you. All right. Looking forward to seeing you in class.